Hello and welcome to this special and very difficult edition of Carolina Week. I'm Sarah Huffman.
And I'm Adam Rue. Thank you for joining us as we recount the events surrounding the tragic, senseless death of UNC Chapel Hill Student Body President Eve Carson. The uneasiness began on campus early Wednesday morning and the initial reports were sketchy.
Chapel Hill police told us only that they were trying to identify the body of a young woman found in the middle of the intersection of Hillcrest Road and Hillcrest Circle. The description made everyone worried that the victim was a college student. Police say the victim was a blonde female between 18 and 25 years old, approximately 5'6" and 120 pounds. She was wearing gray sweatpants and a blue short-sleeve shirt. As of late this afternoon, police have found the victim's car. Police notified media outlets this morning that they were looking for the victim's car, a 2005 blue Toyota Highlander with a Georgia plate, number AIV 6690. Police said the victim, who was still unidentified at that point in the day, owned the car and that it was stolen. Police issued a be on the lookout alert for the vehicle before receiving this latest information.
By that point, rumors had begun to rage across campus regarding the identity of the victim. We all feared she was a Carolina student, and shortly after noon, police confirmed she was someone many of us knew, worked with, and admired.
This morning at approximately 9 a.m., a positive identification of the victim was made by police investigators and the Office of the Medical Examiner. Victim has been identified as Eve Carson, age 22, a UNC senior and current UNC student body president.
Chapel Hill Police Chief Brian Curran broke the news to reporters about 12:30 this afternoon, nearly 33 hours after officers initially discovered Carson's body in the middle of this intersection. Investigators had trouble identifying Carson's body, but were eventually able to positively confirm it was her this morning.
A victim was identified at the medical examiner's office, and it's my understanding it was people that knew her that actually made the positive ID.
Curran says there's not much to go on.
There are no suspects at this time.
Anything about a motive?
Anything that I would say about that at this point would just be pure speculation.
Chapel Hill Mayor Kevin Foy worked with Carson and says her murder is a loss for the town as well as the university.
She was happy, vivacious, intelligent, engaged, and a presence in our community whose absence leaves a permanent void in our hearts and in our lives.
He says now is a time to come together.
We will work together to heal this community, to heal this town and this campus in the wake of a terrible tragedy and a terrible loss.
Curran says we should all be especially vigilant with the killer still at large.
Is there a danger to the community, Chief, right now, or is there college students be concerned?
At this point, I'm thinking that this what it feels like was a fairly random crime. As I said earlier, I don't know that, for sure. I think folks that if they take the normal precautions that we normally ask them to do.
Curran says you should remember to tell your loved ones where you're going and when you expect to return. He also says never go out alone.
As the afternoon progressed, friends and classmates began posting on Eve's Facebook page. The UNC Student Body President's page represented the things she held most dear, notably the Carolina Way. The Carolina Way was the motto Eve lived by, one friends and family say she represented well. Her fellow students expressed their grief by leaving comments on her wall and sending gifts of remembrance. Among the dozens of posts, "I am so sorry to learn that this world has lost such a wonderful person. May God comfort your family and friends in this time of grief. You were the nicest person. You made a difference in the lives of many. You will be missed. This seems so unfair. You were someone who was supposed to change the world for us, Eve."
Chancellor James Measer knew Eve Carson well. As SBP, she worked closely with the administration. The chancellor is in his final semester in that position, and early this afternoon, he wrote what was probably the most difficult email of his tenure. In it, he wrote, "I am so sorry to tell you that Chapel Hill police have identified the victim of this week's shooting as Eve Carson, our student body president, trustee, wonderful person, and great friend. We are deeply saddened and numb with grief. For now, it's important that we pause, contemplate our loss, and give each other support."
The chancellor concluded his email saying he knew how difficult it would be for students to comprehend something so tragic. He invited the university community to Polk Place this afternoon for an opportunity to grieve together. Our Carla Babb was there.
Sobs, sorrow, and sheer disbelief. When word got out that yesterday's victim of a fatal shooting was student body president Eve Carson, the campus community stood shocked.
She was one of my best friends here. She was one of the most loving people you ever meet, and it's words can't describe it right now.
That smile, just, she lit up the room.
A sea of students and faculty gathered here to mourn the loss of their student body president, their co-worker, and their friend. Those here say she loved this university with her whole heart, and she will be missed in theirs.
She felt the very pulse and heartbeat of this university.
Students place beautiful flowers as a tribute to Carson, although they realize her beauty will no longer be a part of campus.
Just a lovely girl, beautiful girl, and she'll be so sorely missed.
Eve is the biggest Carolina fanatic. She's so spirited. She loved this university.
And friends say her memory will remain within them.
When he was talking, everyone was thinking of their own little memories and thinking of how they knew her, and probably just had her face in their head.
It hasn't even kicked in yet, so it's very hard. But having all these guys here, it's good. So, but I miss her.
She was never too busy to say hello, to wave to you, to acknowledge the UNC community around her. She wanted to be a leader that was in touch with the campus that she represented.
And the chancellor urged the campus to stay close in this trying time.
Let us be the university that Eve Carson envisioned.
Today, we have each other to hold on to, and the happiness she brought to us all.
And that's the way I will always remember her. She was joyful. Thank you.
In Chapel Hill, I'm Carla Babb, Carolina Week.
The university is planning a memorial at a later time, and there will be a vigil in the pit this evening at 7.
You know, Sarah, as somebody who's covered Eve Carson for the last year as student body president, I've interviewed her, gosh, probably a dozen times or more, and I just keep going back today to think about the last time I sat up here and talked with her. It was just 3 weeks ago, sitting in this very chair, and it was when it was for the student body president elections, and we sat here and we talked, and we just had a great conversation. And before we went on the air, we sat there and laughed about what we were doing after college. And I just remember Eve as somebody who was so very happy with life and very happy to be who she was. And it was just, a great time to sit here and chat with her before we went on the air and after we got finished. And I know that I definitely will miss Eve and miss her spirit around campus, because she has really touched a lot of people here at Carolina.
I think a lot of people feel the same way and have been saying a lot of the same things. And I was in shock when I heard what had happened, just very shaken. And it took all of my energy just to get through my next couple of classes. I had a midterm, and then when I left class and walked out on the quad, it was just eerie. Everyone was standing around, not quite knowing what to do, but just comforting each other, and it was very quiet. I even think seemed like there were fewer cars on the road. And I didn't personally know her very well, but I did see her around at various university events and even on Franklin Street on the weekends. And I know that she was a constant, steady presence that represented the university without being overpowering.
Yeah, and that's the way a lot of people will remember her. You know, it's hard to put into words what it's like to lose someone who we knew and liked so much.
Some thoughts just keep running through our minds, like it could have been any of us, and why her?
Yeah, we can never really fully understand the depth of loss the Carson family is feeling, and we can never fully express our own sense of loss and vulnerability.
But we can, in our own way, pay tribute to Eve with this special musical memorial to one of her favorite songs.
It has been a blessing. It has been incredible. I've met so many amazing people. I've gotten to work with so many classmates. I've loved this year, and I feel so fortunate for it.
Eve Carson personified the Carolina spirit. She did it perhaps more profoundly than anyone I've known in my whole time here. She felt the very pulse and heartbeat of this university. In the way she lived her life, embodied the Carolina way.